Well, thank you very much for welcoming me back, Mr. Hartung. Sam, Dehne, the guard angel against media wacko freaks and other things government-wise. I'm here to speak on both of these issues. First of all, National Preparedness Day, week, month, year, forever. And they related it specifically, generally speaking, to the terrorist attack called 9/11. Well, I'm here to tell you right now that that was a disaster all of its own, just the way that the government handled it. Not that, the way the government handled the first terrorist attack over Lockerbie. That was our first 9/11, when the terrorists blew up that Pan American 747. And instead of the government, now I'm talking about preparedness, instead of the government figuring out how to stop those things from happening, preparing to not happen again, they spent most of their resources trying to put the blame on the victim. They put the blame on Pan Am and eventually blew Pan Am out of business. People don't know this. They took Pan Am instead of figuring out how to stop this from happening in the future. They destroyed Pan Am. They took Pan Am's operating capital and used that money to pay more money to the survivors of the victims. That's what they spent the whole time, and that's the preparedness. Now 9/11 comes up, and I'm talking about preparedness. Now they were sort of prepared because they didn't want the same thing to happen to United and American that happened to Pan Am. And so instead of taking United, the airliners that flew into the buildings and killed thousands of people, but instead of blaming United and American, they turned around and did just the opposite of what they did to Pan Am. They took billions of dollars and gave the money to United and American. They had learned from the Pan Am disaster that they created. That's the idea of backwards preparedness. If they had prepared after Lockerbie, 9/11 might not have even happened. I think I've made my point there. Now, as far as overdose and that sort of thing, could I have the overhead, please, for just a moment? Whoever runs that thing. Overdosing is a horrible thing. It's getting headlines everywhere. It has been. Overdosing has been going on historically. Now, I am the driving force that brought marijuana to Reno. I didn't bring it here, but I speeded the process up by probably a year and a half. And there's a lot of people who are happy in that. So as far as overdosing with all these words I can't even use, oxycodone and all these, I've never heard of anybody, pot is legal, 7117. That's the day I made it legal, 7117. The government made it legal. I've never heard of anybody overdosing on pot, or rarely, or even overdosing on tequila.
Thank you, Mr. Dehne. Mr.